On behalf of a grateful nation, we are assembled here today to pay our lasting tribute.
As a member of the Color Guard from VFW Post 1138, John Durbin participates in more than 100 funeral services for veterans each year in Monroe, Michigan.
We give them the best sending off
Aim! Fire!
that can possibly be made. We usually have on the team that I belong to, there's 28 of us. We usually have at least a minimum of 14 that goes and presents the colors, and we give them a 21-gun salute, we give them taps, we present the immediate family with a flag.
John's seen sacrifice and trauma up close. For 6 years, he served as a medic in the U.S. Air Force during Vietnam. So on a Thanksgiving day, when John was playing cards with his fiancée Bonnie, he knew what he was feeling wasn't quite right.
My right hand went numb, then my arm went numb, and then I thought it just went to sleep. Then all of a sudden, I got up and my right leg went numb. And I said, Bonnie, I think I'm having a mini stroke. This goes back to some of the training and knowledge that I had in the medical field. And I said, call 911.
John was away from home and rushed to a hospital where doctors determined he had suffered a TIA, transient ischemic attack or mini stroke, with no lasting effects. He was 75 years old.
He had noticeable symptoms, but they resolved very quickly. And the way that can happen is small pieces of clot or clumps of platelets can travel upstream, lodge in an area, and you lose function of that portion of the brain for a short period of time. And then as pressure builds up, it disperses those platelet granules almost like a clump of sand. It breaks up, disperses, and then that function comes back. If it occurs for more than a few minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, then it can be a permanent issue. And that's where those situations can be very devastating.
John returned home and intended to get further tests done, but a couple of months later, before he had returned to the doctor, he started seeing a dark shade over one eye. The eye doctor determined John's vision problem was related to a second TIA. Again, John was lucky the eye problem corrected itself, but it got John thinking about the kids and grandkids he adores, the parties he enjoys hosting, and activities and adventures he still has on his to-do list. So he made that appointment with his cardiologist for further testing. Before those results came back, John had a third mini stroke, again, right in front of his fiancée Bonnie.
I started slurring my speech, and she said, John, I think you're having another mini stroke. So she took me in the hospital, in the car, and she took me over to the hospital here in Monroe. So, and they came up with a diagnosis that I was possibly having a mini stroke then.
Usually after one incident, you're going to have around a 20% risk, perhaps upwards of 30% of having a significant stroke within 90 days. So he was very lucky.
John was referred to Dr. Greg Casper, a surgeon from the Jobst Vascular Institute, who determined John had significant blockage in his artery and recommended surgery.
I think based on his symptoms and what was going on, we knew we were going to find something that obviously was ominous. So when we got in and opened it up, he had a lot of what we call loose atheromatous debris, or some of this granular material in the artery, which you tend to see, and that's the type of stuff that breaks loose and travels. So once we were able to isolate that with the surgery and clean that out, he's got a pretty good bill of health at this point related to that.
It was eye-opening. Because most of my life I've been in pretty good health.
Now, with John's history of blockage and mini strokes, Dr. Casper will need to monitor him closely for about a year.
And whenever you have plaque or hardening of the arteries, or as I call it, corrosion in the pipes in one place, you're going to get it in the other pipes. The carotid artery is a great hallmark of that. When you see narrowing or hardening the arteries in the carotid artery, you know you're going to have it in other areas. So what you want to do is start handling that with risk factor modification.
Those risk factors apply to everyone, and if you have stroke or heart disease in your family, you need to be especially diligent.
Good healthy diet, good exercise, no smoking, and obviously if you are diabetic or have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, appropriate medical therapy. And really managing those things will drop your risk significantly.
John is grateful for the care he received through Promedica, and he's doing everything the doctors recommend so he can stay healthy and continue to serve others whenever he's called upon.
It was just a major stroke waiting to happen. So I was very fortunate. Somebody was looking out for me.
Sit, look. Present, up. Order, up.
Construction on the Promedica, Charles, and Virginia Hickman Hospital is underway. The hospital is being constructed right off of M52 on what used to be the old golf course. The campus includes the Promedica Farms Hoop House, which provides fresh fruit and vegetables for the Lunaway Community Fresh Food Initiative. Once completed, the campus will have 2 miles of walking and running trails open to the public and will also have a new YMCA for local families to enjoy. It may not look like much more than dirt and rocks right now, but the new hospital will consist of 207,000 square feet with 40 medical and surgical beds, 4 operating rooms, 8 labor, delivery, and postpartum beds, and 10 critical care step-down beds. Welcome to the future Promedica Charles and Virginia Hickman Hospital.
My Paramount Elite Medicare plan is helping me write the next chapter of my life. Because they're so reliable, I was able to pick a plan and premium that worked for me and included my doctors. Now, I can go about my life without any unexpected medical bills.
Call us at 1-888-891-0707 to see if Paramount Elite Medicare plans are right for you. Trusted Medicare. Plan on it.
Will this destroy this? Let's prove it! Yeah! 3, 2, 1!
Investigating the world of science. These apprentice clinicians take their nose out of books and put their hands into experiments to test the boundaries of the universe on a quest to
Hi, I'm Emma Hildebrand from 4th grade Sand Creek Elementary School. This is our science experiment. We are taking an egg and putting it in Coca-Cola, corn syrup, and vinegar, and put an egg in it and see what one will destroy the egg.
the simple egg. Here's the yolk, here's the shell, and here's that gooey stuff in between. We boil them, we scramble them, and we eat them. But first, we need to get through this. The outer eggshell has a lot in common with chalk, rocks, and stalagmites. They're all made of calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is used to make cement, paints, paper, and even medicines. It looks solid, but when you look really, really, really close, it's covered with over thousands of tiny pores, and it isn't solid at all. It's called a semi-permeable membrane. It lets moisture and air through its pores and keeps everything else out. These young minds want to know what will get through it.
Do you think it'll work? No! Yeah! Let's prove it!
So the challenge is on. Can this egg hold on to its protective shell, or will these liquids melt it away?
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. And now she's holding on for dear life. Her kids can see she may have broke her knees. They still love her though she looks like she's attacked by killer bees. I'm allergic. Prove you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Our elementary school scientists are curious. Can they get through this perfect eggshell without cracking it? Well, they're going to see if one of these liquids will do the trick. They set up a simple experiment: 3 eggs, 3 cups, and some cola, syrup, and vinegar.
We're learning about chemical reactions and looking for signs of chemical reactions. So we start with Coke, and we put the egg in the Coke, and what we are hoping for is to see the sugar react with the shell of the egg, and it'll actually dye part of the egg, and it'll result in a lot of brown spots all over it, but the shell doesn't actually dissolve, which is the end result that we're looking for. And the Caro syrup, the egg is porous, so there are small little holes within the shell of the egg, and the Caro syrup will slowly penetrate those. And by the end of the week, when we remove the egg, the inside of the shell, the membrane will be soft. So as you kind of squish it, it'll soften the egg just a little. And then the last one that we did was vinegar. And the vinegar actually turns out the best. We usually hope for the best result. When we put the egg in the vinegar, it will start to bubble, and the calcium in the shell of the egg reacts with the vinegar. It'll slowly break down the shell, leaving behind just the membrane. So when they take the egg out, it appears that we've made the shell disappear. Well, really, it's just broken down and dissolved in the vinegar.
Can the kids come up with these results? What will happen when they drop the egg into the vinegar? Will it disappear? Will the syrup make the egg turn soft? What about the cola? Hey, don't forget about the cola.
Will this destroy this? Let's prove it.
The cups are filled and the eggs are ready to go. So let's... well, you know the rest.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
You take a room full of junior scientists, a few dozen eggs, and a bunch of different liquids. And what do you get? You get a simple science experiment looking for signs of chemical reactions. So we have the perfect ingredients for these young minds. Let's see what they think is going to happen.
I think that the vinegar will dissolve the egg inside and the shell will be left over.
I think she means it will dissolve the shell and the yolk and the gooey stuff will be left over.
I think the corn syrup will just make the egg sticky, and I think the Coca-Cola will go inside the egg, but the egg will not dissolve all the way and the shell will be left over.
So if Emma proves it, then we will, with one of these substances, have been able to remove the shell of the egg without actually breaking the egg, just leaving behind the membrane.
Let the chemical chaos commence after this.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
We are taking an egg and putting it in Coca-Cola, corn syrup, and vinegar, and put an egg in it and see what one will destroy the egg.
Cola, syrup, vinegar, and a simple egg. They seem like innocent components, but what happens when you drop this egg into one of these liquids? The egg is covered with a semi-permeable membrane. It looks solid, but it really isn't. Come a little closer. A little closer. Look at it under a microscope and you can see it has thousands of tiny pores all over the surface. So let's see what happens when the egg gets a bath in each. Will one of them dissolve the shell?
Do you think it'll work? No! Yes! Let's prove it!
Cola is made of high fructose corn syrup or sucrose derived from cane sugar. There's caffeine in there, phosphoric acid, cocoa extract, lime extract, vanilla, glycerin, and a bunch of other stuff. Corn syrup comes from the starch of, well, corn. And it contains maltose and a bunch of other things we can't pronounce. But we know it's really sweet and gooey. And simple white vinegar is a concoction of acetic acid and water. It's made by the fermentation of ethanol by acetic acid bacteria. Think about that the next time you drizzle it over your salad. Which one do you think will dissolve the eggshell?
3, 2, 1.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Our elementary geniuses are working on an experiment to find a chemical reaction. Their teacher has challenged them to drop an egg into cola, syrup, and vinegar and figure out what would happen.
We put the egg in the Coke and it'll result in a lot of brown spots all over it, but the shell doesn't actually dissolve. There are small little holes within the shell of the egg, and the Karo syrup will slowly penetrate those, and the membrane will be soft, but the shell doesn't actually dissolve, which is the end result that we're looking for. When we put the egg in the vinegar, the calcium in the shell of the egg reacts with the vinegar, and it'll slowly break down the shell.
3, 2, 1. And now we wait. We have 3 liquids to see if it would dissolve the shell. First we have Coke. Next we have corn syrup. And finally we have vinegar. Now let's see what one will destroy the egg. What does it feel like?
Like a boiled egg and brown.
So the Coke didn't work because the shell is still there. How is the corn syrup? So what does the egg feel like?
Hard and gooey.
I guess the corn syrup didn't work. Let's see if the vinegar will.
It worked!
What does it look like?
It looks like the shell dissolved, so there's only the yolk left.
Oh, hey, yeah, that smells bad. Hey, can I smell? Can I take a smell, please?
Just like their teacher said, cola was able to penetrate the shell and turn it brown. The syrup took its old sweet time to get through the shell, and the sugar made the membrane soft, leaving the shell intact. But the vinegar... The acetic acid in the vinegar combines with the calcium carbonate in the shell. There's a chemical reaction. Check this out. There are bubbles coming off the eggshell. The combination of the acetic acid and the carbonate create carbon dioxide gas, and that's what's in these little bubbles all around the outside of the shell. It's actually dissolving the shell, but it seems to disappear. Cola.
No!
Syrup.
No!
Vinegar.
Yeah! The vinegar dissolved the shell of the egg, so now we know the vinegar works. We proved it! Yay!
Hello, welcome back to another Healthy Cooking with Promedica. I'm Nathan Drendel, Promedica Wellness Dietitian, and today we have a quick date night meal that won't break the bank on calories. We're going to start the meal off with a shrimp stir fry and follow it up with a Greek yogurt chocolate mousse. So why don't we begin? We have our oil already heated in our large skillet, or you could use a wok. I'm using shrimp for this recipe, but feel free to use chicken breast or even a lean cut of beef. We'll let that cook roughly for a minute, minute and a half, to let it sear. For the stir fry, we're going to use some oil, some oyster sauce, light soy sauce, some cilantro, some green onions, some garlic and ginger, broccoli, and a mixture of peppers. You could use any non-starchy vegetable you like. You could add some baby corns to this recipe, mushrooms, whatever you care for. Shrimp is an excellent source of lean protein, plus you get the benefit of a good dose of omega-3 fatty acids. Now that we have our shrimp on the side, we're going to lower the heat, add a little bit more oil, and stir fry our vegetables. And while the vegetables are searing, we're going to make our quick sauce. Aside from the great lean protein source, this recipe also adds 4 out of the 5 colors of the fruit and vegetable kingdom, with the broccoli and the various colors of the peppers and onion. You can cook the vegetables as long as you like. Obviously, the longer you cook them, the softer they will get. I typically like my vegetables in a stir fry a little more crunchy, so I take them off within a couple minutes, roughly about 3 to 5 minutes. Right before you're ready to take your vegetables off, add your garlic and ginger. We don't want to cook those for too long, roughly about a minute. We're going to toss the shrimp back in, add the sauce, and then add some green onions. Stir well to make sure everything is well coated. And then we're ready to eat. To end the meal, we want something nice and light, but we want some chocolate in there too. So we're going to have a Greek yogurt chocolate mousse. The first step for this is to melt our chocolate in the microwave. With the chocolate melted, we have to let it cool for a little bit, but that gives us a perfect opportunity to whip the Greek yogurt. Now that our chocolate is cooled and we whipped in some air to our Greek yogurt, we're going to simply add the melted chocolate to the Greek yogurt, whip it again, and then put it in the fridge for a couple hours and you're ready to eat. If you add a serving of brown rice, your whole meal is still under 500 calories per serving. The chocolate here we're using is dark chocolate, and when you're looking at dark chocolate, you want at least 70% cacao. Here I'm using 72%. Milk chocolate, on the other hand, can be as low as 10% cacao with a lot of added sugars and milk fat. Give these 2 new recipes a try on your next date night or anytime you're looking for a quick, nutritious meal that won't break the bank on calories.
I've always been a big believer in plans. Lesson plans, a life plan, which is why I'm so happy I have a Paramount Elite Medicare plan. They're reliable and part of Promedica, so I know I'm always going to have great doctors and hospitals.
Call us at 1-888-891-0707 to see if Paramount Elite Medicare plans are right for you. Trusted Medicare. Plan on it.
I'm at Proven Winners with almost 5 acres and just one of their greenhouses undercover and over 70,000 shrubs at my feet. This place is almost like NASA for plants. Let's check it out. We're in the Sigler greenhouse here at Proven Winners, and like I said, almost 5 acres undercover. And this building, like I said, state of the art. I have Robert Zanini with me. Now you say all the science really starts in the floor. Why?
It does. So this floor is called an Earthgood floor. It's from a Dutch company.
Okay.
And what it does, it's a sub-irrigation floor. So under here, there's about 2 inches of pebbles.
Okay.
And then there's some liners, some fabrics, and the floor floods basically even. So we have a weed mat here. And then when the floor floods, it's a nice and even distribution of the water. And then when the water recedes, it sucks all that water away. So the plants aren't sitting in water. There's no puddles anymore.
Now, how long have these plants been in these pots?
These plants have been in these pots a little bit under a year, right around a year.
So they will stay in this environment for how long?
They will stay in here, so they'll start to break dormancy sometime in March, say, and hopefully they'll be gone by April, May.
So how do we water other things in this building?
We also have a boom system. There's 2 arms on this particular one, so there's different nozzle sizes to put out some different droplets.
So the growers can actually walk up on this boom and stand here?
Yes, yeah.
And why do they want to do that?
They can watch the crop, really check out if there's any disease pressure on the crop, check out the coloration of the crop, and just make sure that everything is growing as it should be.
What are some other fancy parts of this building?
We have a lot. Let's go.
Let's go. One of the biggest jobs greenhouse growers have is picking up all the pots and putting them in another part of their greenhouse, maybe for lighting or other issues within the greenhouse itself. And this little bugger, it looks like one big rake for plants, right?
It's great, yes. It's our flying fork, we call it. So we can just stick this right under the plants, pick up 100+ pots at any given time, and move them from anywhere pretty much in the greenhouse.
So this rides on a track that goes down the rows, so they literally could basically rake them up, almost like a spatula, picking up over 100 pots at a time.
Right.
So you got a little handle, you can move it forward and backward.
Yep.
And guess what? It's even got a horn. Of course, in the growing process, these shrubs will need a trim. So that flying fork will take hundreds of these pots all at the same time and put it on this big conveyor belt. It goes through this process and it gets a haircut in a really fancy way. Robert, this is a fancy machine. Tell me all about this.
So the plants will come in single file
Like
down
this? Kind of need a
this
little
one,
bit of a
yep,
trim?
need a little bit of a trim on the top.
Okay.
It'll cut off the top.
So this first push, they go through and cuts off the top.
Cuts off the top, sucks away all the debris, comes out. Once the top's cut up, it goes into the second machine.
Okay.
Where it goes in there, it gets a little spin and it cuts all the sides off of it. And then you have your finished trimmed plant.
Ta-da! Wow, how long does it take this machine to do this?
Oh, it just takes seconds for it to go through.
Compared to somebody going through and actually doing it themselves, how much time are we cutting off?
We're saving we can do about double the plants than hand.
And also, when you do that for the plant itself, is it healthy or is it making the plant stronger?
It does. It creates a lot of breaks for the plant, so you get a nice pruned plant, a nice canopy on it.
It's like space-age technology, so these shrubs get to your garden and look the best they can.
They sure do.
The statistics on lower back pain are staggering. 80% of the population will have a bout of debilitating lower back pain at some point in their lives. One of the most overlooked causes of low back pain is sitting all day. Here are some exercises that can help minimize your chance of low back pain. First, stand up nice and tall. Place your hands on your hips and gently push your hips forward. At the same time, pull your shoulder blades back in together and extend your neck so that you're looking up at the ceiling. This is a great stretch for your hip flexors. For the next exercise, I want you to stand tall, keeping your hands on your hips. Tuck your pelvis underneath you, or try to make your belt buckle move closer to your belly button. This exercise strengthens your abdominal and gluteal muscles. Finally, I want you to drop one leg back so you're in a lunge stance. Keeping your hands on your hips, again, gently push your hips forward. This will help stretch out the tight hip flexors in the front of the leg and hip. Try these exercises throughout the day to prevent and reduce low back pain.
My life story is an adventure. Always has been. Always will be. So I just love that my Paramount Elite Medicare plan always has my back. Plus, they give me the freedom to see the doctors I want and live the life I want.
Call us at 1-888-891-0707 to see if Paramount Elite Medicare plans are right for you. Trusted Medicare. Plan on it.
I'm Brianna Height, and this is Lenawee. We have our cameras in the hands of our student reporters around Lenawee County to get a first-hand look at the incredible experiences around our community. Some of those incredible experiences are in companies right here in Lenawee County. We loaded our students on buses and took them to local businesses that are looking for employees just like them. Let's take a ride with them.
Today is Manufacturing Day. We're taking students out, I think about 450 students, out to manufacturers around Lenawee County to show them the job opportunities that are available in manufacturing in Lenawee. Right now, talking to all the employers, not just manufacturers, but all the employers in Lenawee County, talent is the #1 issue. They cannot find enough people to fill the jobs they have and to fill out the jobs that will be available when us boomers start to leave the workforce or continue to leave the workforce. So right now, we need to show the students the job opportunities and career opportunities that are available in the manufacturing facilities. We're building our own pipeline. We're not relying on folks coming from outside to help us. And this is the way we do it for the Lenawee, and this is the way the state of Michigan needs to do it. And basically, every state in the union has a talent issue right now. And so whoever figures this problem out first wins. And we want to make sure that we're the one who wins.
We're going to a bunch of different manufacturing shops around Adrian. Pretty much just walking around, seeing what they do, seeing how they run and work. I'm hoping to be an engineer of this stuff, like making the designs and giving them to people who will make them. I see myself midway through college doing this, but working in one of these shops to get through college.
In general, we're a CNC prototype / small volume production shop. We service industries anywhere from automotive prototyping to medical to hydraulic repair and service, food service. The list is almost endless, which really makes it interesting from an employee perspective because they never work on the same parts 2 days a week. We currently have 2 employees who came right from the tech center and are working here today. They obviously they're at the entry level of that, but then the goal is within 3 or 4 years to have them running CNC machines.
Some kids, you know, they stay. Some stay after school. You know, after they graduate from high school, they stay. They don't pursue going to college or something like that, and they want to enter the workforce, and we give them that option.
So Agate Steel, it's almost like Adrian Steel, just on a way smaller scale, way less people. The guy said there was like 12 people on the floor at the time. And Adrian Steel, they have 175, so it's a big difference. Personally, it wouldn't matter to me. Welding's welding, and wherever you weld, you know, it's gonna be messy.
We get to learn it in basically school, and you don't have to go to a college. We learn the trade, and we transfer the trade into our work life.
It is important to make that connection between our students and the companies that can hire them. It really gives our students that first-hand look at what a real career would be like right here in Lenawee County. Next, let's head over to our building trades class for a lesson on wiring. If you have a do-it-yourself job around the house, these students can show you how to do it right. Today, we are teaching you how to install a fixture from an outlet box.
My name is Jarrett Waters. I go to Hudson High School. Now today I'll be showing you how to wire a single pole switch to a light bulb. So your first step, you're going to want to drill a hole to your stud. And then for your second step, you want to mount your light switch box. On the switch boxes, they got these little grooves, and you want to make sure they're right up tight with the end of the stud. Make sure that's nice and sturdy. You're gonna take this wire and make sure you got 6 inches hanging out of this box here, just the same as before. And then you're gonna take and feed it through this hole. You're gonna feed it up through this box as well, until you get 6 inches out. Then you're gonna take your staples. Make sure that's nice and tight. Once you got your wire through the box, you wanna strip it back as far as you can. You want to pull back all the sheathing on the outside of it. You want to pull all this back too. And then you want to strip your wires back about 1/4 of an inch. And then for your white wires, because they won't be used, you're going to want to take this little thing, they call them pigtails, and put it on there and twist it until you can't twist it anymore. Then you got to just take a piece of spare ground for these and cut it about 4 to 5 inches. And then you take this and you get another wire nut, and you want to put them all together like so. Stick them all up in this nut and do the same. You want to twist until you can't twist anymore. So now once we got this finished, you want to put this switch back on, curl the heads around about 80 degrees. Then once you put them on here, you want to make sure they're all going clockwise. Make sure the black goes to brass and the whites to silver as well. You take your ground wire, you put it on your green screw. And once you got that on, you just tuck it back into the box. Now you got this box with your wires here, and now you're gonna get ready to mount your light bulb. Same thing with this, it has a little groove for the edge of your board. Once you got your first nail in, you wanna make sure it's lined up correctly. So once you got your box mount and you wanna run your wire there, you wanna drill a hole through the center of the stud. Once you've got your hole drilled, you want to put your wire through that, and then you want to run it right back to your hole to your next box. So once you got your wire run there, you want to put a staple right above the box. You got your wire here. You want to strip it back as far as you can get it, and then you want to do the same in this box as well. Once you got that there, you want to strip your wires back. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take another wire nut and you're going to pigtail your whites together. And then next you want to take another piece of your ground, right about here, about 4 inches. You want to put those together. Wire nut all those 3. You're going to take your ends and curl them over about 180 degrees. And once you got all your wires ready, this is your single pole switch. You want to make sure they go on clockwise. Black to brass. And this, there's no white wires. And then you're going to take your ground that you had out from your pigtail. You're going to put it on a single screw here. Once you have all this wired, you want to push all your wire back in the box. Screw it down in. And now we're done with the single pole switch. Next is your light bulb mount. You want to make sure you strip your wires back with this to about 3/4 of an inch. The same thing with the other ones. You want to twist it over at about 180 degree. And on the back of your light bulb mount, there's only a silver and a brass. So your ground wire you can just tuck back in your box because you won't be needing that. And the same rules apply for this too, is black to brass and white to silver. And once you've had this done, you want to push all that excess wire back in the box. And then you want to screw this back in on there. I'm Jarrett Waters, and that's how you wire a single pole switch to a light bulb.
That was great. He really knows what he's talking about. I hope you were taking notes. Stay right there. We are talking about taking generic drugs. Should you or shouldn't you? It's coming up right after this.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Connor is struggling in school.
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
After an appointment with your doctor, you might come home with a handful of prescriptions. You can sometimes save a lot of money by buying the generic form of those drugs. But is it safe? Our wellness team gives you the scoop.
Hi, I'm Cindy Farmer, LISD Wellness Committee member. Remember, generic drugs are safe and less costly. The ingredients in a brand name product and its generic equivalent are the same. To gain FDA approval, both must have the same potency and dosage, produce the same effect, and are safe and effective. Dyes and fillers may be different. Generics are safe for all age groups. Generic antibiotics like amoxicillin and erythromycin, which are commonly used for children and adults, are the most commonly prescribed. Every drug may not have a generic counterpart. When a drug is first introduced, a brand name drug is patented for protection over a period of years. When a patent expires, other drug companies can then introduce competitive generic versions, once approved by the FDA. Costs for the marketing and promotion research are much lower for generic drugs. Advertising is costly and increases the cost of drugs that you see on TV. With healthcare inflation quickly rising, using generic drugs when appropriate will go a long way to help reduce out-of-pocket costs. Be informed. Ask your healthcare provider if there's a less costly drug available that may work or if they have samples. I'm Cindy Farmer. Be well.
Thank you, Mrs. Farmer. That was very helpful. Coming up next, we get to see what our biochem technology students are getting their hands into. It's right after this.
Hi, I'm Mike Rowe. 14 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. Well, this year she celebrated her 50th wedding anniversary.
Is that why you've taken off your jeans?
No, I've taken off my jeans to prove the link between jeans and the fight against breast cancer.
Well, that's interesting. Do I have to take off my jeans?
No, nobody has to take off their jeans, Mom, but everybody has to go to denimday.com right now. I'll explain everything. Dress code optional.
Apparently. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Learn more at denimday.com.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. Now she's holding on for dear life.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Biochem technology students get a chance to do many things while they are here at the Tech Center. Much of their work is at a college level, and their teacher makes sure they get their hands on a lot of things. Today, they're taking a first-hand look at the anatomy of a pig and comparing it to a human.
Today we're dissecting fetal pigs. Teaches the kids a lot about anatomy.
Is it over there? It's good.
that we do this is because we get the hands-on experience in the laboratory. So if we do end up doing something that involves us being in the laboratory, we know how to handle ourselves in the lab.
This can help a lot of different students in a lot of different ways. Any student who's going to go on in science is going to have to dissect things if they're going into college, but particularly those who are going into the medical fields can learn a lot from it as well, all the medical terms that they need to know for different organs.
Kidneys. We got kidneys. The spleen. We got the spleen. The rectum.
If you love doing stuff like this, it's a good way to continue down. As the saying goes, do what you love and money will come. This is a good class to figure out what part of this field do you love.
As an instructor, it makes me feel very proud to see my students be able to do these dissections. A lot of them, I think, have future careers maybe in surgery, and making very fine cuts and doing a really good job of identifying everything too.
That looks like some great work from that class. As you can see, we work really hard around here, so it is important to have a bit of fun with our instructors too. Our video and audio production team produced a really fun pregame show for our annual flag football game against the teachers. It's pretty silly, and you will learn everything you might not want to learn about flag football. Here are a few of the highlights.
All right. Flag football has been around before, man. And I'm gonna teach you some of that flag etiquette. First up is the run and jump.
The run and jump. This is the basic flag football attack. 1. Start with your left foot in front of your right in a runner's stance. 2. Begin your forward approach, gaining speed, but saving an explosive burst as you approach your target. 3. Stab your body into the air like a spear, pulling the flag as you fly past your target.
Second is the chameleon.
The chameleon. This is an intermediate flag football skill. 1. Camouflage yourself in the environment. 2. Position yourself directly in the field of play. 3. Notice the prone, spread eagle position of this player. Impressive. 4. Wait for your target to approach. Number 5. Seconds before they reach you, levitate horizontally in one swift motion. Number 6. Swipe the flag from the belt of the target as they pass.
The third and final one is all is fair in love and war.
All is fair in love in flag football. This is the most advanced flag football technique. 1. Pick a very gullible target. 2. Slowly approach the target. 3. Prepare yourself to wear your heart on your jersey with feelings like concern, happiness, and love. This will distract your target. 4. Place your right hand on their shoulder. This is your second distraction. Number 5. Swipe their flag with your left hand, striking with lightning speed while the target is focused on your overwhelming emotion.
With those techniques, you'll crush everyone in your path. All right. I need a lean, fighting machine. Who wants to throw a spiral? You. Over to me, son. Show me what you got, son. Good. Go. What are you? Come on. Son, that's not the season yet. That is not basketball. This is a football!
are you doing? Come on! Faster, 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 faster! Ew.
Are you okay? We got that! All right.
Welcome to the annual LISD Teacher versus Student Flag Football Smackdown Showdown. Heads, heads, tails, tails. Teachers call it in the air.
Everything has built up for this moment.
I've been doing this my whole career.
A whole week of preparation.
There's no way we're gonna lose this toss.
Please, come on.
What day is this? Who are these people? Hey, I'm hungry.
These kids have no idea what's coming.
Heads, 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 heads.
Huh.
Where'd you get that sandwich?
That took forever. I went to the store.
Wasn't that fun? To see the whole pregame show and the flag football game, just go to LISD TV on YouTube and subscribe to our page. That's our show. If you see something amazing going on around Lenawee County, we want to know about it. Just email at us at lisdtv@lisd.us. I'm your host, Brianna Height. Make it a great day, Lenawee.
Too many kids in Lenawee County will never get their hands on a book like this. You can change that.
Now, this book has lived a long time with us, Liam. I think it's time for it to continue its journey. Should we donate it to Goodwill?
Yeah. A book like this can inspire other kids throughout our county. The story doesn't have to end here. By donating it, you keep its story going.
Thank you for your support. Would you like a receipt?
Donated books in our county stay in our county. When you drop off a book, it's scanned and sorted from place to place at Goodwill. Goodwill Industries of Southeastern Michigan gives back thousands of pounds of books, just like this one every year. They take good care of it along the way and prepare it for its new home. Your book might make a visit to the Boys and Girls Club, the Lenawee Applebee's, a local food pantry, or even to a classroom like this one. And that helps Lenawee kids like me read.
I became a teacher, and every year on the first day of school, I ask my students to teach me their names.
Everyone can be involved in Lenawee literacy. It starts with one simple action, donating your book. That keeps its story going. One book given new life means another child connected to the world around them through literacy. That's the Lenawee Cradle to Career Partnership at work. my home, my school, and my community working together to help children read.
So now it's your turn. How will you teach the world your wonderful, amazing, terrific name?
When you're building those container gardens, there's 3 big things you need to know. And I have Angie here with me. Angie, tell me what they are.
Well, you need a thriller, something that's going to add height and drama to your patio pot. You need a filler.
Okay.
And
fill it in.
Fill it in. And you need a spiller, something that's going to kind of
cover up the pot a little.
Soften the edges.
All right.
And so we're going to
teach me how to do this.
So we've selected a pot based on the flowers that we're using right now and how many. So we want to do 2 of each, with the exception of the thriller. Just
now,
one going
that's
in
our
the
big
center.
focal point. And of course, we started with great soil.
Great soil.
We've got the proven winner's soil here. Do we need to put any fertilizer in it? Throw some.
We're going to put some time release fertilizer in here.
This is exciting.
So based on the, I just read the instructions on the back of the container.
We love to read instructions.
We're going to put 4 scoops
Not really,
in here.
but okay. 4, that was 3. Now, you have unique. So we did 4. You have really unique containers, and we can name them as well, right?
We do.
Can I name this one?
Okay,
we'll have to figure it out. We have to figure it out at the end. Okay, so let's put in that thriller.
So for our thriller, we're going to use a coffee cup colocasia.
Love it. Okay. And why is it called that?
So that's going to go right in the center. Okay. And because we want this to be beautiful from all angles of the pot right now. So then we're going to move over to our fillers.
Okay.
So we'll start with the golden butterfly, our
I do love that one.
It is beautiful.
My favorite color.
It is so beautiful. This color will maintain its vibrancy throughout the whole summer.
Look at that root system. Looks fantastic.
It's a fantastic root system. Something with proven winners, you do not need to crack the bottom of the pots.
Yeah.
So we want to have symmetry right now. So we are going to do one on this side, and
I got another one down here for you. This one matches.
All right, perfect. All right, Kelly, if you want to
put this one on this side, you got it. So we want a balance right now.
Something else you want to consider when you're planting up your patio pots is where it's going to be, the light requirements. And you want all of the components to be evenly matched.
Okay,
Yeah,
if it's sun, everything is sunny, make sure all the plants are sunny. If everything is shady, make sure all the plants in your container are shady.
Absolutely.
That's success. Okay, so what do we have now?
So now we have Supertunia Vista Bubblegum. This is an amazing plant. This is so recognizable. So this can be used as a filler traditionally. We're going to use it as a spiller right now because it will trail over the edges a little bit.
You know, one thing I do when I know that it's a filler that I kind of want it to train over the side, I just tip it a little more. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. And are you putting it right next to the other one? Okay.
I am. We'll put it right next.
So we still have one more plant to put in here, right? We have one more space.
One more.
What would you like, my dear?
Let's go with the Luscious Royale Cosmo. It's a lantana.
So far we have a Cosmo, we have some bubble gum and coffee. Okay,
yeah.
let's
so
put one in
this is
there.
actually a new variety this year for Proven Winners. And something that we're constantly doing is trialing new plants. And this combination that we're putting together is something that is old and new. Bubblegum is a classic. That's been a top seller for 12 years.
I have always planted it.
And this
Still
is
love
new.
it.
What's so fantastic about the lantana is it's got 3 colors going on. It's yellow, pink, and magenta. And it smells fantastic. And this attracts butterflies and birds, and the hummingbirds absolutely loved this.
Oh, and I like how it's bringing in the combination of the pink and the yellow. This one really marries the whole thing together.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, this looks so good. Now we would fill the open spaces in with our Proven Winners soil.
With our potting soil.
And then we would water it in, right?
Yep, absolutely. And so the water-soluble fertilizer is fantastic. You know, plants need to be fed as much as they need water, and so that's really important. And you're going to see the plants be so much more floriferous when you use.
Whoa, that's a good word, floriferous. It's a good one.
Yeah, that is one thing. People drive by my house and they say, "What are you doing to have your plants be? They're constantly in bloom." And number 1, they're Proven Winners.
Sure.
Number 2, I'm constantly feeding them, and they love it, and they thrive off of it.
They are very hungry. So we have, what was the name of our thriller?
Coffee Cup Colocasia.
Okay, and this one?
Supertunia Vista Bubblegum.
And this one, the Cosmo?
That is Luscious Royale Cosmo.
Okay, so we've got coffee and Cosmo. Maybe we should call this Kelly's Coffee Cosmo Teeny. What do you think?
I think it's fantastic.
Oh, I love it too.
Most of us are taught to wash our hands before we eat our meals. But did you know that washing your hands regularly throughout the day can significantly cut your risk of getting sick?
What happens is germs get on your hands and you spread them to other people or objects, or even to yourself when you touch your face, your mouth, your eyes. So it's important that you're washing your hands many times throughout the day.
In fact, studies show that washing your hands regularly can prevent 1 in 3 diarrhea-related illnesses and 1 in 5 upper respiratory infections like a cold or flu. Soap and hot water are the important ingredients, but the proper technique is also important, which means washing for at least 20 seconds.
Take a minute or so, make sure you thoroughly get under all the surfaces and in between your fingers, etc., so that you really get a good lather up, and then make sure you rinse it off.
Especially important, washing your hands before and after you come in contact with someone who's not feeling well. That includes any time you visit someone in a hospital or nursing home, so you don't spread germs to them and you don't take germs home to your family. But germs and bacteria not only spread to us when we come in contact with people or pets, they also live on lots of everyday objects that we touch. Doorknobs, faucets, computer keyboards, and especially our cell phones, because we carry them in our purses and pockets and set them down on germy surfaces. Be sure to clean these items regularly to keep them germ-free and wash your hands after you use them.
Germs can sit on surfaces for many hours, even days at times, so that all your family members are at risk if you're not washing your hands appropriately every time.
So wash up. Keeping your hands clean is the most effective way to keep yourself and others from getting sick.
Remember, good health is in your hands.
This is Promedica health correspondent Chris Peterson.
Ear infection?
Yeah.
Mom's kisses are great, but with Promedica On Demand, he can see a real doctor even on vacation.
Thanks. Now who's gonna kiss your boo-boo?
What boo-boo?
See a real doctor from your phone, tablet, or PC with Promedica On Demand.
Hi, I'm Brianna Height, and this is Lenawee. We have our cameras in the hands of our student reporters around Lenawee County to get a first-hand look at those incredible experiences around our community. Reading is such an important part of our daily lives, and it's something we work on in every part of our school, no matter what topic we're learning. I'm sure you have lots of books around your house too. We have a team of people that keep recycling great books to all kids across Lenawee County. Let's check out the great Lenawee book sort.
This is the Closet to Classroom book sort, and these are thousands of books that will be given back to teachers inside classrooms to infuse classroom libraries throughout the county. We all know that choice is extremely important, and many classrooms don't have enough choice of library materials in their classroom. So by participating in the book sort, teachers walk away with an assortment of and variety of choices, diverse in interest and character, so that students have a choice as to what they read, how they read, and when they read. The Goodwill partnership is so great because their executives work with us hand in hand, side by side, establishing what is our purpose, what is our need, and where will the books go. They're great about promoting our work because we also promote their work. Behind the scenes, just as in the classroom, they have so many great systems where they're supporting students with disabilities, they're supporting teens who are seeking employment. They're really working with the community, not just with donate us your things and we'll sell them, but they really seek to give back, and that's what the book sorts are. We had principals giving up their time. Mike Perez from Adrian Public School came and sorted along with his teachers because he does know the importance that literature plays in creating an environment that says we promote literacy in the classroom. We even had children giving up their Saturday time to come and sort side by side with their parents who are teachers inside countywide classrooms, and the minute they saw the variety of books, they couldn't help but hide their excitement and even tuck a few books of their own into their bag to take home. Your heart overflows with this feeling of satisfaction, with just joy in the fact that classrooms don't have to wait until they have enough scholastic points or until their PTO donates enough money or the school finds some funds to make their classroom library better. Through these sorts, we say none of that matters. Every classroom is equal and every classroom deserves a quality library.
Thanks, team. So next time you take a box of books to your local charity, you will know that they just might end up back in the hands of a child right here in Lenawee. Next, let's head over to our building trades class for a lesson on wiring. If you have a do-it-yourself project around the house, these students can show you how to do it right. Today, we are teaching you how to install an outlet box into a wall.
Hi, my name's Liam Hardy and I go to LCS, and today I'm going to show you how to wire and mount an outlet. First step, you want to drill your hole into the middle of your wall frame, right into the middle of the stud. Next step, you need to feed your wire through the hole. Next, you're going to want to take your outlet box and mount it onto your frame. You want to line it up and make sure it's about a ½ an inch off of your stud, so you can, when you mount your drywall, you can cut it and fit it. Next, you want to feed your wire through the bottom of your box. Next, we're going to want to staple the 2 wire onto the board tightly against the bottom so that your wire is then run through and tightly against the wood, and it comes all the way across and into your box neatly. If you're wondering how many staples to use, just use whatever you think necessary for the project. Your next step is you want to make sure your wire is 6 inches out of your box. After you measure your 6 inches, you can then cut your wire. All right, next, you want to strip your wire back with your utility knife. As you can see here, you have your hot wire, your black wire, and your white wire. Also, your ground wire. It's important to know this so that you can wire on your outlet without any shortages or mistakes. Next, you want to get your wire strippers, and as you can see, there's a little 14 right there. Next, you need to strip your wires back just enough so that you can wrap it around your outlet. Next, you need to put your wires, attach your wires onto the outlet. When you're wiring your outlet, you need to make sure the wire goes clockwise around your screw. You then want to tighten your screws so that it feels firm enough to hold the wiring. Next, you want to wire your hot wire, which is the black one. This also needs to go clockwise around your screw. To know where to put the black wire, you can just remember that black always goes to brass. Next, you want to wire the white one. The white one, you can always remember because white always goes to silver. To finish through, you want to bend your wire in your box enough so you're able to screw in your outlet. I am Liam Hardy, and that is how you wire and mount an outlet box.
That was great. He really knows what he's talking about. I hope you were taking notes. Stay right there. We are talking about insurance fraud, how to watch for warning signs. It's coming up right after this.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Connor is struggling in school.
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
We get a lot of help from our insurance company, but there are always things to watch out for. Here are some tips on insurance fraud from our wellness team.
Hi, I'm Cindy Farmer, LISD Wellness Committee member. Staying immune from health insurance fraud. There's a lot of info out there about potential changes to health insurance. Here's some tips to avoid being scammed or surprised. Never sign a blank insurance claim form. Never give blanket authorization to a medical provider to bill for services rendered. Be informed. Ask your medical provider what they will charge and what you will be expected to pay out of pocket. Always review the explanation of benefits statement. If something doesn't look right, call your insurer. Don't do business with door-to-door or telephone salespeople who tell you they can provide you with free services or medical equipment. Finally, guard your insurance and Medicare ID info and give it only to those who have provided you with medical services. I'm Cindy Farmer, and be well.
Thank you, Mrs. Farmer. That was very helpful. Coming up next, we get some help from our nursing prep students right after this.
Hi, I'm Mike Rowe. 14 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. Well, this year she celebrated her 50th wedding anniversary.
Is that why you've taken off your jeans?
No, I've taken off my jeans to prove the link between jeans and the fight against breast cancer.
Well, that's interesting. Do I have to take off my jeans?
No, nobody has to take off their jeans, Mom, but everybody has to go to denimday.com right now. I'll explain everything, dress code optional.
Apparently. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Learn more at denimday.com.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. Now she's holding on for dear life.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
One of the best ways to stay healthy is to wash your hands often. That keeps those germs away from your mouth and nose and prevents you from getting sick. But have you ever had a lesson on how to properly wash your hands? Well then, here it is.
Hi, my name is Jillian McDonald. I am a senior here in the LISD CNA class. Today I'll be teaching you hand washing. First, we're going to be turning on the water and adjusting the temperature. Then we're going to be wetting our hands. We're going to be reaching to get our soap here. And from there, we're going to want to lather for 20 seconds. You're going to want to make sure you get the front and back of your hands. And make sure to get your nail beds as they can harbor bacteria. Now we're going to go ahead and rinse them off. Now we're going to be reaching for our paper towels, pat drying our hands until completely dry. Now I'm going to reach for a paper towel and go ahead and turn the water off. My name is Jillian McDonald from the CNA class at the LISD Tech Center, and that is how you properly wash your hands.
Looks simple, but it is very important. Now we are going to head over to our Center for Sustainable Living campus on Tipton Highway. Our ag students are taking care of some very special residents here at our school. These students have 4 legs, fur, and they eat just about anything on site. Let's see how they raise our LISD goats.
So today the kids are working on doing goat and breeding selection for breeding goats, meat and dairy. The point of the class today is so that they can determine and select visually off of what goats to keep or get rid of, depending on their structure and body design and what we're going to be using them for different projects.
I learned a lot of things about goats. Like I have a goat at home and it's teaching me new things that I didn't even know about before, like trimming hooves. Like usually I just have my dad do it, but Mr. Hensley's teaching me how to do that stuff.
I plan on being a poultry vet, so this is really going to help with my career choice. I didn't really know how to evaluate goats before, and now I do. I love the hands-on experience. Like if I'm just like writing it on paper, I don't really learn that much, but if it's a hands-on, I learn a lot more. They like to destroy things. They're like dogs and kids at the same time. They don't like to stay in one place. They like to test the fences. A couple years back, we had goats get loose here, and they went on top of the building. So. I mean, they're fun though.
The kids seem to love it. It's great to see the interaction, their enthusiasm, and just all the excitement they have for wanting to volunteer to do all the different things. And they seem to be having a blast, and it's working out really well so far.
Aw, those goats are so cute. That's our show. If you see something amazing going on around Lenawee County, we want to know about it. Just email us at lisdtv@lisd.us. I'm your host, Brianna Height. Make it a great day, Lenawee.
These days, life seems to move faster than ever. Our to-do lists never quite seem to get done. You can check one thing off the list and then 2 more take its place. You don't have time to be sick or to be hurt. But in any moment, life happens. A car accident on the way to work. The contractions begin. A call from a parent who just doesn't sound right. Feeling a lump while taking a shower. In these moments, you can feel lost and confused. What's next? How will I manage? How much will this cost? How can I make these decisions? But as people who work in healthcare, we know the next step to take, the next call to make. We know you are counting on us. You're counting on us to be all we've been trained to be. You're counting on our teamwork, our kindness, our empathy, our focus, our expertise, and our compassion. These moments remind us why we chose to be healthcare professionals, the everyday opportunities to genuinely connect with you, to see in your eyes how you've eased your pain or relieved your worry, to give everything you have to make a difference. It's what makes our work more than just a job. And when you connect all these moments together, each of us doing our best to help the way only we can, that's when we create a remarkable experience, an experience only made possible when we truly connect, moment by moment. That's when we deliver the Promedica experience.
It's not the way most of us would get ready for a comfortable night of sleep, but Kelly Baumgartner agreed to be all wired up, hoping this night will reveal some very important information about herself, her health, and how she sleeps.
I was tired all the time, no matter what I did, how much I slept, how many things I didn't do. I was tired all the time. According to my husband, I snored really bad.
So Kelly's doctor suggested she spend a night at Promedica's sleep lab to see if the way she sleeps might be causing her health problems.
So we will monitor her brain waves, we'll monitor her oxygen levels, her heart rate, we'll monitor her breathing effort by putting belts across her chest and belly, 30 plus wires from head to toe, all put in a convenient little box so it's not to be too obstructive for the patient.
Sleep techs stay awake all through the night to monitor test levels and movements while Kelly's sleeping to find out if her brain and body are really resting while she sleeps.
Eventually, you are going to be sleep deprived and develop a sleep debt. We call it a sleep debt. I should sleep 8 hours every night. I'm only sleeping 6. So on that first night, I have a sleep debt of 2 hours. So if I do that X amount of nights, I have this huge debt. Like any other debt in our lives, we have to repay it. So your body is going to tell you when you have to repay that debt, so to speak, and it's going to shut down.
Kelly's body was feeling that sleep debt several years ago when she went through her initial sleep study and was diagnosed with obstructive sleep apnea, a serious sleep disorder that happens when a person's breathing is interrupted during sleep. It's not just about being tired. Studies show lack of sleep can really take a toll on your health.
When you wake up and you have non-restorative sleep, you are not alert through the day. And so people engage in activities that are not necessarily healthy. They eat more to stay awake. They drink more caffeine. They don't exercise because they're so exhausted by the end of the day trying to stay awake for work, not just being tired. But it has been associated with heart attacks. It has been associated with strokes and even dementia.
Now Kelly has returned as a test patient to Promedica's newest sleep lab in Fremont, and she brought her son Kevin, who was also diagnosed with sleep apnea at the age of 15.
But it was like scary to find out that I stopped breathing that many times in an hour or in the night or whatever. Like it was like scary, especially for how long. Some of mine, I stopped breathing for almost a full minute because it was that bad. So I was thinking about holding your breath for a minute when you're awake is awful. And when you're asleep and you don't know what's going on, it's even worse.
Both Kelly and Kevin now wear a CPAP when they sleep, a small machine that supplies a constant and steady air pressure through a nosepiece or mask. As Kevin sleeps with his CPAP mask, Dr. Madison can see a huge difference in his restfulness.
As he's wearing it, one can see in this particular tracing, he's in deep stages of sleep, uninterrupted. There's no sudden changes. You can see the eye waves, the brain waves. This is what a sleep specialist would call a beautiful tracing of a patient that is asleep.
A lot of times you don't know how bad you feel until you get it fixed. And you're like, wow, like I did not know how bad I was. And then you get it fixed and you're like, I did not know that I could feel this good.
Oh, I feel like it has really changed him. He's a different kid. He's a different kid.
Dr. Madison says most insurance companies cover both the sleep study and the CPAP machine, and she encourages patients to explore the options with their doctors. One night of sleep in Promedica's sleep lab might be just what the doctor ordered for a lifetime of health and wellness. For Promedica Health Connect, I'm Chris Peterson.
Howdy, campers. How's the great outdoors?
John's got a rash, so I'm making him a salve out of honey and pine bark. Learned it in Scouts.
You were never in Scouts. Your mom just told people that because you like to wear neckerchiefs.
That explains so much.
You know, with Promedica On Demand, you can see a real doctor right from your phone, even way out here, and have the prescription sent to the nearest pharmacy.
Which is due north.
North isn't up.
See a real doctor from your phone, tablet, or PC with Promedica On Demand.
Welcome to another episode of The Balanced Plate. I'm Kinsey McNamee, your wellness dietitian, and today we have a recipe that is quick and easy, crock-pot chicken taco chili, which is perfect if you're looking to make a lifestyle change and having a hard time finding some great recipes that are quick, easy, and healthy. About a half hour before your crock pot's finished, you'll want to take your chicken breast out, then simply shred it up. And we're going to add it back in, stir it up, and your meal will be complete. The great thing about this meal is it's large enough to feed a family, or if it's just you, you can use it in different ways throughout the week. What we have here is using the base 4 different ways. So we have it just by itself with a dollop of Greek yogurt for a bowl of chicken chili. We have it stuffed inside a green pepper and topped with a sprinkle of mozzarella cheese for a stuffed pepper. We also have it on a bed of lettuce with, again, a dollop of Greek yogurt and a little bit of cheese for a taco salad. And then finally, we have it on a bed of cooked cauliflower rice. And then that's just a little bit of a different way to do it. This recipe is great for if you've had bariatric surgery, if you have diabetes, or if you're just trying to live a healthier lifestyle. For more recipes like this, check out PromedicaHealthConnect.org.
Construction on the Promedica, Charles, and Virginia Hickman Hospital is underway. The hospital is being constructed right off of M52 on what used to be the old golf course. The campus includes the Promedica Farms Hoop House, which provides fresh fruit and vegetables for the Lunaway Community Fresh Food Initiative. Once completed, the campus will have 2 miles of walking and running trails open to the public and will also have a new YMCA for local families to enjoy. It may not look like much more than dirt and rocks right now, but the new hospital will consist of 207,000 square feet with 40 medical and surgical beds, 4 operating rooms, 8 labor, delivery, and postpartum beds, and 10 critical care step-down beds. Welcome to the future Promedica Charles and Virginia Hickman Hospital.
Four student chefs and 3 baskets of the unknown. These Lenawee County standouts have to cook their way through them to impress these judges. Who will earn the title of Minced Champion?
Hi everyone, I'm Kelly Heidbrader, your host.
Our first student chef is Zachary Armstrong.
I think it's a physical, mental challenge of your ability to cook, and it's just pushing myself to the limit, which I want to take.
He's a junior at Hudson High School, and he thinks he can chop up this competition.
Anything with poultry or pork is where I reside. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna win, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna bring my all. I'm gonna try as hard as I can to win.
He doesn't know the meaning of the word nervous. He says he can put up a good fight, and working under pressure is his middle name.
I don't hold nothing back, and if there's something you can experiment with, you can go out on a wild limb, I'm gonna take it.
Chef number 2, Tyler Anderson.
My grandma's worked for the Daily Bread for the past 6 years, feeding the homeless, and I've always volunteered helping her cook there. So it's just become my passion.
He's a junior at Sand Creek High School, and he says he can beat this competition.
What makes me a good chef is that I can literally take anything in the kitchen and make it into something else. I could literally take macaroni and make it into a dessert.
He's a confident musician, and he's also confident in the kitchen. Can he transfer his musical talents into the kitchen and win over our judges?
I'm gonna win this.
Our third chef is Nick Coates, a junior at Onset High School.
I grew up around cooking. I've always wanted to be in the restaurant industry. Right now I'm a waiter and I cook and pretty much everything in a restaurant.
This soccer player says he's going to score a goal this year. There will be no penalty for this flatterer.
What inspired me to start cooking was my grandfather. I always, every weekend when I was a child, I'd go over there. He'd always have a cookout. I'd always help him out cooking and everything. And a couple years ago he passed, and so I've always just kind of stuck with it.
He thinks his wildcat-like reflexes will finesse the win.
I do believe I have what it takes to win because I believe I have a leg up on the competition, and I believe I'm just better than all of them.
Last but not least, our fourth chef, Corey Marion.
I want to be in this competition because my family has always been around cooking, and I want to prove to them that I can not only bring to the actual table, but to the table of competition.
She was a competitor last year, but missed her chance at a victory in the first round.
Chef Corey, you have been minced.
I know it wasn't exactly my fault, but it was my fault, so you learn from it, you move on. It's just art made out of food.
She knows how this game goes and has an upper hand at winning this year. Could she be this year's comeback kid, or will her victory go up in smoke?
This year, I definitely am totally confident about it.
Welcome, chefs, and here are the rules.
There are 3 rounds: appetizer, entree, and dessert. Each course has a basket of mystery ingredients, and you must use every ingredient in some way. The pantry and fridge are also fair game. Each round is timed, and when we are done, the judges critique your dishes. If you don't make the cut, you will be minced.
Corey, she's kind of the mean girl, I guess, in the picture. She kind of really takes charge. Sometimes kind of cracks under pressure a little bit.
Tyler, I know he's a child, and their children shouldn't be in kitchens.
Chefs, are you ready? Open those baskets. In this appetizer round, you must use brats, ramen noodles, chili without beans, arugula, and sun-dried tomatoes.
I was happy to see ramen because it's an easy thing to use and incorporate.
Chefs, you have 20 minutes on the clock, and your time starts now.
Initially, I wanted to know how Tyler knew there were going to be brats, because he looked at me before the competition started and said, "Do you know how to temp a brat?" And I was like, "Not going to use brats." And then the second it started, I was like, "Oh my God, this is rigged." But then I was like, never mind. Tyler wouldn't know that. He doesn't know anything.
So I first made the ramen and I cooked it in sun-dried tomato, and I got some spices. I got paprika, I got garlic salt, and I cooked it all together to infuse into the noodles.
First was I put the bratwurst in a pan and incorporated the chili in with it almost right away. And then after that, I put the sun-dried tomatoes in with it and kind of mixed it all together so it would kind of cool it down as well as cook everything really quick. And then I put a little bit of the arugula in it.
Cooking all the way through, I split them in half so the raw part was down so they could fully cook.
Now let's meet our judges. Isaac Jeffrey, you were a former student of this class.
Yes, I was, and I am currently a chef at Element 112 right now, and that's what I'm doing.
And we have our LISD principal, Shelly Jusick.
Hi, welcome everyone. I'm so glad to be here today.
Carson Muslov, another former student, is our third judge.
I was in the program as well. Now I'm working at Tecumseh Brewing Company.
What are they looking for right now?
I would say right now they're probably just looking for boiling water, trying to get everything started right now.
I think we're missing some things on the table. It looks like Corey right out of the gate is looking for something in her basket. And I think it's something simple. I think it's just the can opener.
My first initial thought was I need to downsize the size of these bratwursts to make sure they're cooked efficiently and also so I can portion them out well.
Nick's starting out getting his hot plate going.
Yeah, I would have got right to the flame right away.
We all have ramen, so let's see if they can come up with something fun with a little bit of ramen.
Then I plated my ramen, laid my bratwurst over top of it, and put chili on the side and garnished it with arugula.
I don't want him to cop out and just have it on a bed of arugula, right?
But the arugula will bring the freshness to all of that.
To keep the freshness of the arugula, I wanted to add some sweet. So I got a balsamic vinegar, used honey and brown sugar to sweeten it up a bit. Got my vinaigrette done, kept making sure that my broths were cooking, and then halfway through I added chili and roasted tomatoes. Got that heat going. I also added some cayenne and paprika.
It's can openers and pots. Next I made the chili, and I cooked sun-dried tomatoes into that and put arugula in it, and I seasoned it and made that and then put it on top.
Chefs, 10 minutes.
What was going through my head was just, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna get this done.
Go for a mouthful, go for the fun.
Oh, go for cake!
Cakes are for everyone. Just one stack is what it takes, and it's go for cakes. Open wide, stuff your face. There's always room for more Gopher cakes. Empty the box, then reload. Eat those Gopher cakes till you explode.
Exercised lately?
Till you explode.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
What was going through my head was just, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna get this done.
What was going through my head, what I was feeling was just to stay calm and take a risk. If you gotta check something multiple times and cook it over, go ahead. Just make sure you plate what is done and give it your full mindset.
The entire time thought I need efficient cooking. Everything needs to be temped well, and I need to get as much flavor in there as I possibly can.
What do you need? Chef Groff, we needed attention here. Corey's got a problem with her hot plate. Her plug came out, and he is in there trying to help her solve this problem. So the plugs came out of the wall. He said that's the same thing that happened to her last year. So Chef says turn around, let's go for the burner. Good call, all right.
Very common situation where as soon as you need to do something, of course it malfunctions, so you just gotta think on your feet.
Corey, I've watched her. She was bringing Southern flair. Well, I don't know if you really want to call it flair, because it got her nowhere, but out the first round.
5 minutes on the clock, chefs. Tyler's whizzing around the corner here, racing around his station.
I was freaking out, and then I cut my finger.
Carson, what are you looking for when these plates come to you?
I'm looking for all the ingredients, but I'm also looking for something that's going to surprise me when I see it.
I cooked my sausage in cooking wine to enhance flavor, because I've done it with bacon before, and it made it the best thing I've ever ate in my entire life.
Just 2 minutes to go.
Biggest threat so far after seeing their plates is Nick Coates. He has a positive attitude, which is really nice to see from a fellow chef, and his plating, it was so colorful. Like I was, the second I saw how much color he had, I was shaking in my boots.
Make sure you have all of your ingredients, chefs. 30 seconds.
At the end, I was kind of struggling to get everything on the plate as time was running out. 30 seconds left. I still have a whole plate to fix up, so I was kind of rushing, so it kind of looked messy. So it's kind of up in the air if I'm out or not.
It's really a race to the finish. They're kind of doing an inventory.
I just plated it all up and I used the arugula as a garnish.
It wasn't tough to incorporate, but it was tough to use was your brats because getting it cooked all the way. You had to get it cooked all the way in order to have it in the dish.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
My mind was racing and I was just trying to get it done. I didn't think I was gonna get it done.
2, 1. Hands up, chefs. Good job, everyone. Good job, everyone.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Connor is struggling in school.
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep
pedaling. Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
The odds of becoming a successful NASCAR driver, 1 in 125 billion. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Chefs, you are now at the minced line. Your first round had to include brats, ramen noodles, chili without beans, arugula, and sun-dried tomatoes. Zach, tell us about your dish.
So I made a chili dog over ramen garnished with arugula.
Let's take a taste, chefs. Tell me a little bit about what your troubles with this dish.
Getting the inside of your bratwurst cooked thoroughly.
Really? Chef Isaac, what did you think so far?
Pretty good. Brat's well cooked. Noodles are cooked well. I would like to see more incorporation of arugula. I only have 2 pieces on my plate.
Shelly.
I also think the meat is cooked well. With the chili on the side, that's good. At least it's not overpowering the whole dish. I would have liked also a little more freshness with this plate as well.
Chef Tyler, tell us about your appetizer.
So what I made was I did the ramen and I infused the arugula into the chili and put it over the ramen. And then I cooked the sausage in cooking wine to enhance flavor. And the dish is made to all be eaten with one bite all together.
Shelly, what do you think?
I wish my the meat was cooked a little bit more with the bratwurst. I do like to see that a little bit done, but I do like the infusion with the tomatoes as well. They've done a good job with that.
Carson, what do you think about your plate?
The pasta is a little overcooked. It's kind of mushy. Other than that, I think it's pretty good.
Isaac.
I would say a little too much of a char on your brat. Other than that, very good. I liked everything.
Chef Tyler, did you have any trouble with your dish?
My biggest trouble was when I was opening up the can, I sliced my finger open, so it set me back a little bit because I had to go get gloves on. And our first year, Nick burned his chicken first day pre-assessment. Corey can't even bake any desserts. They're terrible.
Chef Nick, tell us about your appetizer.
So what I made for you today is a cut bratwurst infused with chili and sun-dried tomatoes over top of ramen noodles.
The noodles are cooked well. I don't see a lot of chili or arugula on it. But other than that, it tastes really good.
It works all well, pretty good together. Tomato, I think that was a little unnecessary, but everything else pretty straightforward.
Shelly.
And I love the display here with the red tomatoes and the green sprinkled all over the plate. I think that really helped with the visual of the plate as well. So I think that was very good. Overall, the taste here is very good as well.
Chef Corey, tell us about your appetizer.
My appetizer was sort of like Tyler's, except I made it into more of a meatball with a more spicier, hotter chili. I utilized the roasted peppers and the beans while cooking the bratwurst. And to kind of contradict that flavor, I put in a sweet balsamic to go with the arugula and the pasta. My biggest struggle through it was the incorporating the pasta, but I feel like the sweetness will counteract with the heat.
Chef Isaac, what do you think of the dish in front of you?
Works all very well together. Was there any chili in this? There was? Okay.
Where did you place the chili in that dish?
I put the chili, the roasted tomatoes, and seasoned with cayenne and paprika.
I would like to have a little bit more chili, not too much, but other than that, very good.
The dressing on top of this, it really gives it a lot of flavor. That vinegar, the acid with it is really good. And I like that you chopped the meat up smaller so that it was easier to eat as a hors.
I enjoyed it. One thing I would say is the arugula was a little overbearing. But other than that, everything worked well.
Do you have any struggles with your dish, Chef Corey?
The bratwurst was a little hard to get fully cooked, but the most difficult thing was the pasta.
One of the things the judges were saying right off the bat that the possibility of the ramen noodle might be the toughest part, and you mentioned that. Why was that so tough for you?
Because it fluctuates between like high quality food and then broke college kid. So I kind of had to, think what would I do if I was making it for myself. So I just tried my best and threw in what I liked.
Chefs, only 3 of you will move on to the entree round. Let's give the judges a minute to make their decisions.
I think they were good. Just one thing out of all of them was the raw meat. It shouldn't have been raw, it shouldn't have been pink. But otherwise, they were decently well plated and cooked okay. Ramen was good, it was just raw meat.
Biggest threat so far after seeing their plates is Nick Coates, I believe. After hearing what the judges had to say, they said it was a little messy. So I honestly, I'm afraid of Nick. I'm afraid he's gonna pull something out of somewhere, and who knows.
Right now, I'm feeling pretty confident. Right now, it's pretty much a tie between me, Zach, and Tyler. Biggest threat's Corey right now.
Welcome back, chefs. In the appetizer round, your dishes had to include brats, ramen noodles, chili without beans, arugula, and sun-dried tomatoes. Whose dish is under the mincing block? Chef Zach, you have been minced.
Zach, unfortunately we had to cut you because there was a lack of arugula. Your meat was slightly underdone, and it was just lacking overall body to it.
Overall, it come into this looking as it's going to be a physical and mental test. Well, it showed me just to add more and what to work on and how to go forward from here.
I could have added more arugula to my plate. You got to realize it's just one time that you didn't make something. There's always going to be a next time. And don't let what a judge says hold you back.
Chefs, welcome back. We are on to the entree round with only 3 of you remaining. In your baskets, you will find chicken, Pringles, cranberry sauce, mac and cheese, and nacho cheese.
You don't really know what to do with Pringles in a dish of mac and cheese and chicken, so.
We've got 20 minutes on the clock. Chefs, ready, set, go. So what are you looking for, Chef?
Clean cuts on all of the meat. Again, well balanced of flavors on the plate. It's gonna be hard because there's so much cheese. Really working all those ingredients in.
The biggest threat's Corey.
The person who throws the biggest threat is gotta be Corey's.
I used the cranberry jelly in the cooking wine to sear my chicken.
I took the Pringles, put that as like a layer onto the chicken, and then started frying it up.
At first, I made the cheese sauce and put the macaroni into water so that it could cook all the way. And then I added some spices to the cheese sauce so it wasn't just plain nacho cheese, because it just doesn't taste that good because it's just out of a can.
Mac and cheese and nacho cheese, and we have to be able to tell the difference between all of those. Yeah. So, Shelly, what do you think about this dish?
I'm very curious, all of these flavors combined, and again, it'll also be very curious to see what they pull from the pantry to complement those particular flavors.
At first I felt pretty worried because my chicken wasn't pan searing that well, and I was very worried that was just going to ruin it because it even started to burn a little bit. But I really knew that my flavor would bring it home.
Carson, what are they thinking about as they're running around right now?
Interesting. It looks like Tyler, as soon as he started, he ran right to the pantry and got some spices. It looks like he's almost doing a quick marinade on his chicken.
Some of these kids come in here with a little bit of experience. Some do not, right? You both have been in these classes, and Shelly, as the students come in the classroom, this is a very popular class, right?
Tell us about that. It's a very popular class. We have so many students that sign up that are on the waiting list. We just don't have enough facility here for the amount of students that want to do it. And I liken that to the fact that we have all these cooking shows on TV now, and all the students understand it. It's more than what you would learn in home ec. This is a real fun career, high energy, high adrenaline, and the students are attracted to that. So it is a great program.
As the two of you have been through it, do you think it prepared you well for that step out of the school and into a real job?
Yeah, definitely got my foot in the door on a real career, and then from that point, culinary school is the only option. So
this program made it so I could work in some of the places that I've been.
Then I started pan frying the chicken in cooking wine, and after I seasoned it in Worcestershire sauce and paprika and some other seasonings, and then I put it in the oven to finish it off after the skin was all caramelized.
Nick has disappeared. He's in the pantry. He's going for some things in the pantry. Let's see what he has
getting some rosemary.
I felt really confident at first, but then my chicken wasn't cooking when it was on the pan, so I threw it in the conventional oven to hopefully try and cook it faster.
10 minutes! Chefs, 10 minutes on the clock. We are halfway through.
And I forgot the Pringles, so I put the Pringles into the cheese sauce to make it like grits, kind of. It was actually pretty good. And then I used that as a base on each plate.
Even though they have those particular ingredients in that basket, they could still pull together a vegetable on their plate, right?
I haven't really seen a good side vegetable for an entree, and other than the green pepper, I don't know how that's being used over there, but
in the pantry they have a wide array of vegetables.
They sure do.
I was happy to see that my mac and cheese was not nacho cheesy at all. I cannot stand nacho cheese. Tastes too producty, you know. So I tried to make it taste as flavorful and real as possible.
2 minutes. Do you have all the ingredients? Do you have a fresh element on your plate?
Took my cranberry sauce and I cooked it down with a little bit of water and some sugar into a pot, and then I filtered it, and then I put the sauce as a glaze on top.
I was more happy to see the collaboration between the people in the kitchen more than anything else.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up. Good job, chef. Good job.
I feel like I came in second again. I feel like I was above Nick, but I feel like I was below Corey, so.
So far it's Tyler now. After Nick's little mishap with the jelly, I only can really see Tyler surviving to the last round.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing. I watch golf with him, and I watch him cook because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too. We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
May I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all, we approach re-employment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Donate to Goodwill, where your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire, but you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Chefs, you have made it to the entree round. You had to use chicken, Pringles, cranberry sauce, mac and cheese, and nacho cheese. And first off, we have Chef Tyler.
All right, so what I did is I made a cheese sauce at the bottom and I put the Pringles in it because nacho cheese sauce is already salty. So I figured I'd make some so that I don't make another element too salty. Then I cooked the chicken, I seasoned it with some paprika and some other seasonings, and Worcestershire sauce. Can't really say that word.
What do you think was the toughest part of this dish for you?
Honestly, this dish wasn't that tough, but the macaroni part of it, because you look at it and there's not that many noodles and I wanted to portion it out, so I decided to make the sauce like overcome the noodles.
Chef Isaac.
Overall the dish, the idea, it worked pretty well. Chicken's a little bit under, but other than that, good flavor on the chicken, good seasoning.
Ms. Juzik.
Well, I think the nacho cheese is a little overpowering on this, but the chicken, I think the chicken's done very well, and I would have liked to have seen something more with the cranberry sauce, but I liked it. It's very good.
Carson.
I thought it was good. Where are the Pringles?
Pringles are in with the sauce, with cheese sauce. I mixed the noodles, the Pringles in, so it has a little, it looked kind of like grits when I made it, like a grits texture.
All right, it's good, other than I would have liked to see the Pringle more pronounced, something crunchy with that, but very good.
Chef Nick, tell us about your dish.
So for you guys, I made chicken seasoned with salt and pepper. Also, I mixed in some grilled green peppers along with it and added some Pringles as a little bit of a crunch. As well, I made mac and cheese out to the side with a side of cranberry sauce.
Chef Nick, tell me a little bit about the difficulty of this dish. Well, one thing that all three of you had trouble with this round, again, can opener. So tell me, did you have any issues with that this year?
I'm not Tyler, so I don't have any issues with can opening.
All right.
It was opening, that's what I did first, was open the can, so make sure I had everything, I could get it out easier. I think the most difficult part was probably getting the chicken to cook thoroughly and trying to get everything done within the time limit.
How did you cook your chicken?
I pan fried it at first and then found out that it wasn't cooking all the way through fast enough. So I went ahead and threw it in the conventional oven and it got up to temperature really quick.
Okay. Mrs. Jusick.
I have a lot of crunchy burnt pieces on the outside, but the inside, the chicken is good and tender, and I appreciate that. And I like the element of the green pepper in with the cheese. I really like green pepper and cheese together. I would say I'm a little disappointed with the cranberry slices. I would like to see that you had made something else from them, but very good presentation and color on the plate. I appreciated that.
Carson.
My chicken is very undercooked on the inside, and I would have liked to see something more out of this plate other than just 2 discs of cranberry jam on it. Chicken tasted good. Yeah, so good job.
Isaac.
It's all pretty good. It's just a lot of like raw and unmanipulated ingredients. I would like to see more cooking, less cutting and putting on the plate. But very good overall.
Our last chef on the line for the entree round, Chef Corey.
My initial approach was going to be a pan-seared cranberry and like lemon zested chicken to get that fruity flavor along with the chicken. However, the bone-in thigh was a lot more difficult than I thought. And the nacho cheese I found to be a little bit too much, so I softened it up with some other cheeses. So got a fruity chicken and 3 cheese macaroni.
Okay, Pringles, where are they in your dish?
They are on top of the macaroni as a crunch factor. I wanted to bake it, but I didn't have enough time.
Okay. And you have a little bit of the cranberry dolloped on the side, it looks like, as well?
Yes, because as I cooked the chicken, I didn't see it incorporate as much because it was jellied. So I put it on top so you could really capture that flavor with each bite.
Carson.
I like that the chicken's very aromatic. I saw that you were adding rosemary and thyme to it in the pan. The mac and cheese is good. A little cold, but still good. Yeah, good job.
Isaac.
Overall good flavor. There's a lot of good caramelization on the chicken. Mac and cheese is good. Noodles are actually cooked perfect. I would say the raw time was unnecessary. That's the one thing. I would have cooked it in, fried it off real quick. Other than that, really good.
Thank you.
And I really like the complexity of the macaroni and cheese with the different flavors and not just the regular nacho, so it wasn't overpowering at all with a little bit of crunch from your potato chips as well. Have you considered taking the skin off the chicken too? A lot of us want to pull that skin right off, which had a lot of the flavor that I didn't get then down in the chicken because of the time that we had to cook it. Again, I would also have liked to have seen another vegetable on the plate as well. But otherwise, very good.
That was a tough entree round, but chefs, now we're going to give the judges a few minutes to figure out who was left, going down from 3 down to 2.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Only you can prevent wildfires.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
Chefs, you are back from the entree round, a very tough round, and we now know who will be minced. Chef Nick, you have been minced.
Just putting something on the plate raw or just sliced as you did with the cranberry sauce, just for us, we wanted to see a little bit more manipulation with the ingredients, so that's the reason we're mincing you.
Thank you. I appreciate all your feedback, and I'm just great to have at least made it this far. And just next time, hopefully I'll do better. I definitely learned to make sure and keep track of my time. I kind of found myself rushing at the end to try and get everything on a plate. I think that's kind of why my chicken was not done all the way. It will never stop me cooking. Like I said, I'm disappointed, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it. A loss is a loss. I'll have plenty of other chances to make another win.
Our final round, the dessert round. Chef Corey, Chef Tyler, lots of sweets in the basket. ready-made biscuits, vanilla cookies, peanut butter cups, raisins, and fruit snacks. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go!
I used the biscuits as a crust, and I made a cream cheese confectioner sugar type filling.
Right away, we see Corey putting the fruit snacks in a pot with some water.
Melt them down, do something with them.
Jelly glaze of some sort. I like to see more baking in this round than the skillet work.
So 20 minutes in the round, what can they get done in 20 minutes? How much can they bake?
Probably like a light cake or like a crust for a pie or something. Like, the wafers can be used for a lot.
So what I did was I took Reese's cups, which we had to utilize, and I wrapped them in biscuit batter, and then I cooked that up in the oven.
He told me between rounds he has no experience baking, so we'll see. He's a more savory chef.
Should be interesting.
Into the pantry, they both go at the same time. Corey is heading for dairy, and we have the strawberries. Tyler's taking the strawberries.
Oh, you better not take all of those, boy.
Here we go.
Gonna grab a few. Small bowl.
I'm seeing 2 strawberry shortcakes in the future.
I was gonna take the shortcake route, but once I saw what Tyler was doing, I went around that. So I just made a Reese's crumble over top with like a pie crust topping and strawberries.
We're at 15 minutes. That's the halfway mark, chefs. Carson, what would you be doing with this basket?
I'd probably use the muffin or the biscuit as like a crust almost, and make like a mini chocolate filled like chocolate custard pie with the vanilla cookie crushed up around on top.
This part was getting the biscuits to cook because it takes a long time, and by the time I was done I only had like 10 minutes.
Well, he kind of looked like he wanted it in a big ball too, so he might have been. Yeah, he's gonna fill it with that.
Fruit snack.
So he has chocolate in the middle, the biscuit, and now he's pouring the sauce on the top.
5 minutes to go, and that clock has no mercy.
I had trouble with the fruit snacks. It was very hard to melt them down into a sauce-like consistency, and when they were moving too slow, I put them on the back burner so they get hot. And they got hot too fast, and they melted a little bit. So they're kind of like, it's more of a caramelized drizzle now.
Are there other things they could have done, Isaac, with that biscuit other than just bake it? Could they have rolled it out? Could they have made it some kind of a...
I would have tried to do more of like a tart. There's so much that you can do with biscuits, and there's so many videos out there instructing you on what to do with them.
30 seconds.
Make sure you have all the elements.
Carson, what are you hoping to see when you see this plate?
I'm just gonna be surprised. I don't really have any expectations for this round.
10, 9, 8.
I cut up some strawberries and just worked on decorating the plate, put lime glaze all over it.
2, 1. Chefs, hands up. Nice job, nice job.
I'm pretty confident. It's not exactly how I wanted it to look, but it looks delicious, so.
Chefs, in the dessert round, you had to use ready-made biscuits, vanilla cookies, peanut butter cups, sun-made raisins, and fruit snacks. Chef Tyler, tell us about your dessert.
All right, so what I did is I took the biscuits at first, and I rolled peanut butter cups inside of them so that it melts when I baked them. And then I put holes in the top of them, and what I did was I made a sauce using the raisins, using the fruit snacks and some water, and I cooked them down, and I put some lemon in it, and then poured it down the middle, and then I put lemon zest over the top and to decorate the plate, and then strawberries on top.
What was the toughest part about this dish for you?
Toughest part was getting the biscuit to cook correctly, because I didn't know if it was going to misform or whatnot, so getting them all to look the same.
Chef Isaac.
There's a lot going on here, sorry. I really like the fruit snack glaze. Your biscuit is like really, really under, but it actually all works together really surprisingly. It's nice and fresh.
Mrs. Jusick.
I think the lemon zest really helps that too. And when the plate was presented to me, I could smell the fruity snack and the lemon coming together, so it had good aromatics to it.
Carson.
I'm not seeing any raisins on this.
I also cooked the raisins in with the glaze
Okay.
to add more flavor. And also I threw in strawberries in there. I tried to get it as flavorful as possible because it'd be crazy.
Other than that, good job.
Chef Corey, your dessert is in front of the judges. Tell us about it.
I took a new route around the whole strawberry shortcake. I know normally they have the wafer crust, but I like that crunch on top, so I made the biscuit, cream cheese, confectioner's filling. I got some minced up chocolate on there, and I served it with the strawberries. Also, I was having a fruit snack glaze as well. I also incorporated the raisins into that, and then drizzled it across the top.
It seemed like you had a little bit of a trouble back on the back burner with your fruit snacks.
Yeah, I let it slip my mind on the induction burner. It was going too slow for me, and it went way too fast for me on the stovetop, so.
Mrs. Jusick, what did you think?
Well, certainly you can see all the elements and taste them individually, and I really like that. And the cream cheese frosting is wonderful with that as well. So I think this was very well put together, and my biscuit was done, and I think it was very good.
I would have liked the frosting to be a little sweeter for your dessert, but other than that, good job.
Thank you.
The fruit snacks, I feel like there's like a lot of that flavor. I got a lot of that, but other than that, really good.
The judges have tried your desserts, chef. Now give them a moment so they can see who will be our minced champion.
I feel good because I've never made dessert without instructions before, so I think it was a success towards that, but it's 50-50.
I'd say it was neck and neck until they cut open his biscuit and saw it was undone. At that moment, and I knew mine were done because I made sure of it, at that moment I knew that he had dropped in the polls a little bit because you can't have anything undercooked.
Hi, I'm Mike Rowe. 14 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. Well, this year she celebrated her 50th wedding anniversary.
Is that why you've taken off your jeans?
No, I've taken off my jeans to prove the link between jeans and the fight against breast cancer.
Oh, that's interesting. Do I have to take off my jeans?
No, nobody has to take off their jeans, Mom, but everybody has to go to denimday.com right now. I'll explain everything, dress code optional.
Apparently. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Learn more at denimday.com.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. Now she's holding on for dear life.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Appetizer, entree, and now we are here at the dessert line. Which one of these two chefs will be minced? Chef Tyler, you have been minced.
Tyler, you did really well today. Your appetizer was good. It was a little undercooked. Your entree was plated beautifully. Your dessert, it tasted good. You had all of the right ingredients, just not enough time. So we had to overall give Corey the victory in this today.
Thank you. I appreciate the chance to make it so far today. I honestly did way better than I expected to do, so I'm just going to come back next year and win it.
Second time around for you, Chef Corey. Last year you didn't make it out of the first round. This year, the champion.
Great on your appetizer. It was a good start, and it showed us from the very beginning that you were on your way to win.
I feel great. I'm very happy. I doubted myself, but I pulled through, and it's just refreshing, you know, because I lost pretty badly last year, but this year, no, I can't believe it. It's kind of contradicting because, you know, the whole girls belong in the kitchen. Well, I run the kitchen.